that. Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Am I on or not? I hope I am. Okay, welcome to my walking club. Welcome to my walking club. This club is not one-person club. Every morning I wake up and I randomly tag people in my Facebook. If you've seen the movie Forrest Gump, you probably remember this phrase. He said, "Life is like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're gonna get." So my Facebook page is like a box of chocolate. I have amazing people. Some of you are masters. Some of you are high achievers. Some of you are young. Some of you are older. Some of you are wiser. Some of you are just starting your life. And I never know who I'm gonna get when I open my Facebook page, because I love to see news from every one of you, to be happy for new children being born, sometimes sad moments that you share, sometimes inspirations, insights, and truly it makes my day. Sometimes I answer, I like, sometimes I don't, depending on where I am this day. But one day I realized that we live in the community all the time. We have people that are stars in our universe, and no matter where we are connected. Even on a Facebook page where sometimes we don't know each other personally, we just shared some post, we just shared some moment some time ago, and we end up together. And this is a special moment when you touch somebody. In the story Little Prince, there is this phrase, "You are always responsible for those who you brought into your life," loosely translated. And we bring each other into our life for a reason. So maybe the reason you got on my page is to be awakened today to the fact that life goes on whether we join it or not. And sometimes we wake up and the mood is such that you don't really care to get up, or you don't really care to move so much. And what happens if you repeat certain things, they become habits. And what happened to me, it became my habit not to wake up early in the morning. It became my habit not to move. I used to be a Nia teacher, a Zumba teacher, and I'm still dancing. I'm an Argentine tango teacher. But I do move in the evening when I dance. But the energy fluctuates throughout the day. And when you wake up, the most important part of the waking up is to wake up. Sometimes we wake up without waking up, and we're moving through the day half asleep. How it looks like is that the energy is not optimal, and when the idea comes in, when you think of something, it doesn't feel like you want to do it right away. And we all are born for one particular thing. And that one particular thing is to experience life fully in however it comes to us. But sometimes the sad moments pull us back from our intentions. Sometimes happy moments pull us away from our intentions. And we forget that every day is a gift of its own. It's a celebration of life. I was traveling for the last 10 days, 12 days, and on my way back home in Florida, there was a hurricane, a big hurricane. Actually, last month we had one after another. And the destruction of the first one was pretty bad, but the second one hit our area even stronger. Luckily, my neighborhood is in good condition. and all the trees that got fallen from this harsh wind are already taken away from the streets, so it's nice and clean. But the next town, very close town, Venice, is not in a good shape. Some electricity lines are still not working, and Wi-Fi is not stable. And some houses were destroyed, roofs flew away from the houses. And what I was surprised about is the huge trees were taken out of their place. Because in Florida, the soil is not, the topsoil is not very deep and not very fertile, and therefore the trees have very shallow roots, more superficial roots. So when the high wind blows, they fall out. And even the jungle, this is the jungle that is near my house, and you can see the big area of the jungle does not have trees anymore because they did fall out from the ground and were taken away by the trucks because they could not be replanted. So everything in life is, for me at least, is something to think about, something to see as a symbol, something to realize. This is my house, and you see this big tree is still there. They didn't take it away yet, just fallen. So just like that, when the life gives us strong wind, when we go against the nature sometimes, we could fall out and it would be hard to reroot. And depending on how deep our roots are, we could get up and stay in place, or we need to be moved, or sometimes pieces of our life need to be discarded. And this is a very sad moment. At the same time, it's a time of completion. It's the time when we realize that some of the things might not be optimal anymore. If they are falling out of the ground, maybe that ground is no longer fertile, or maybe that ground cannot hold the responsibility, the weight of that which is falling out of our existence. There is a reason for everything, and I choose to see life symbols as conversation with the universe. Yesterday, somebody from my Facebook page asked me to come back to walking and talking, and I'm grateful for that encouragement, because after I came back there was a lot of things to repair. Some of the pieces of our backyard were torn apart, the pool cage and stuff like that. So morning. So we've repaired stuff and moved furniture around, because as we left, I went to Istanbul to learn, and my husband and my daughter with her family evacuated for the hurricane. So when we came back, some things needed to be repositioned and repaired. But luckily, life gives us stable homes, and some homes in Florida were destroyed, and our home is standing because it's more modern and stable home. And so again, it is the time to think, to understand that where we live and how we live is a choice. And we made that choice, but we didn't make the choice to buy a small house on the beach, which would be beautiful and nice to be nearby. But I met a local resident, a lobster. But at the same time, it's not very safe. So maybe today, if I tagged you on this walk, it's a good idea to think, where do you live? Is it safe? Not only in terms of how the nature is around that area, but maybe who you're with, what your community is about, how you set up your day, what do you do, where do you go, how safe it is for you, how satisfactory it is for you. Because survival is not one physical thing. Survival is about physical, mental, emotional, spiritual components of our soul, of our being, our existence. So at every level, the safety is the foremost important idea, because if you're not safe, you cannot really realize yourself. But working with thousands of people at this point of my life, in seminars, webinars, live settings, online settings, people ask the same question again and again. How can I realize my destiny? How can I realize my purpose? Or at least people I work with are very concerned with that. And realization is a very broad question. For me, it starts with being real, with being true and authentic to yourself. It starts with understanding why you're doing certain things, what drives you. And for many people, safety is a big drive. What it means is I do anything to be safe. But sometimes that goal and the action are in conflict. For example, I live with somebody who is not safe in their action, financial habits, verbal expressions. And at the same time, I continue doing it because it gives me some other benefits, and some other benefits are usually financial safety. But look what happens. If you're rooted in the one of the safeties, let's say financial safety, it's very superficial. And mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual safety is compromised, you will fall out of this illusionary safety. Realization is also what kind of real work are you doing in the world? What is your talent and how you apply yourself? How you show up in a way that creates opportunities for other people. And what creates safety is when you are living with your desires realized. Again, desires is very big word, and desires come from our mind. We're all born with a specific desire, with a specific I want. And that I want is different for everybody. In my practice, I work with people to understand what exactly is my want. But on this broadcast, I already talked about the day of your birth. So, depending on the day you were born, that date, for example, 15 or 1 or 3 or 7 of any month. So any number that is a single number to which you can bring your date of birth, just the day on which you were born. So it could be single number 1, 2, 3, 5, or it could be double digits like 13, 14, 25, 31. When you bring them to single digit, that would be the single I want in your life. And that is the program of your mind. That program comes from that moment of your birth, because when you're born, certain big entities like planets, like sun, like earth, and stars affect you with their energy. It's as if you are plugged in the electrical current which is specific for you. And the people who are born with you on the same day, of course, also plugged into that same current. So if you are born on 25th, like I am, of any month, and when we talk, you will realize that some things in our lives are very similar, even some events are similar. Just recently I've met a woman who is born on the same day, and she has the same program of the mind and the same calling. Calling is more about career, the mission. And when we start comparing our life, we were so amazed that we actually had very similar events, even in our families throughout the life, when our children were born, how our children behaved. All of that was very, very similar. So the more I explore that, the more I'm amazed. We all have our own nuances, because our program in the mind is not just the planets. For example, your name also has a particular vibration to it, and it could be calculated. If you're interested, I'll be happy to share that with you. But every letter has a value, because it's a sound. The sound is a vibration. It has a value. And so together it creates a mantra. And depending what the mantra could be, it affects you, because how many times a day you think about yourself, how many times you sign your name, somebody calls you by name. So this mantra is affecting how you think. And of course, there is a personal calendar, the moments of your day that are aligned with the time of your birth, and cyclical, goes in 9 days, 9 years, 9 months cycles. So all of that is ruling your life. Those are invisible sources. You don't really pay attention how Venus, Mars, I don't know, Mercury, Saturn, how do they affect you. You might pay attention to the sun. One day is more radiation, more sunlight, sometimes gloomy, maybe you feel different. Moon is the one that we notice for sure, because it fluctuates the water in our body and affects our emotional state. So normally we do not really pay much attention to how everything affects us, but it does. And when the moon fluctuates, a full moon, for example, lots of people do not sleep really well, or they see vivid dreams or nightmares even. In ancient times, people did not do certain things with the full moon or the new moon, because the moon energy affects the beginnings and the completion of the stuff. And in many ancient countries, cultures, people followed the moon calendar, not the sun calendar. In other countries, they did go with the sun calendar, like, for example, Aztec culture. So to understand what drives you, it's good to know what date you're born on. So on my page you can find previous broadcasts, but there is also a coaching through which you can understand everything about it, and I'll leave the link in this broadcast to where you can learn it in Russian. But if you are interested in English learning, you can go to the same link. I am creating an English-speaking part of the channel, so you can just sign up, and there will be free coachings, master classes, intensives for you to understand deeper how your brain works. Because your brain is a physical entity plugged into electricity like every other organ, and it sits in the office in your head. And in that office, it needs movement. The blood needs to come up and rejuvenate the brain, especially after you slept, bring the nourishment to the brain so it functions. It needs physical movement. I'm gonna give you an exercise right in a moment. It needs oxygen, which comes with the blood, but even more so it comes from the real oxygen outside of your house. It needs a lot of water. It needs proteins and fats in order to work well. So if you feel that your brain is not working properly, you forget things, or you are sluggish, or you cannot complete things, or you cannot start things, that means that maybe your brain needs a little rejuvenation. And again, I'm going to leave you the link because I'm going to talk a lot about it in a more formal settings without wind blowing into my microphone, and you can hear things much clearer. So, first thing that I would recommend is to walk. Every day I wake up and I go. When you're walking, walk up and forward, focusing on the ball of your foot as if you are about to spring forward. What it does, it creates the forward movement registered by your brain, which sits on top and sees everything and notices everything and creates hormonal messages. And those messages go through your body, letting your body know, I'm okay, I'm alive, I'm moving forward, things are okay. And from this point on, the brain receives the message back from the body that it's okay and it can continue being in charge and creating appropriate chemicals for our existence. Appropriate chemicals are hormones. Hormones harmonize our body with the brain so our ideas can get realized. When we are talking about realization, a lot of times our brain is not capable of sending the hormonal messages throughout the body, so the body could start fast and perfect realization of the ideas and dreams the executive, which is our brain, is sending to us. Then the brain has its own program. If you're born on the 1st, the program is, I want things to be my way. And if it's not my way, go away. The people whose birthday end up on the 1, after you make the summary of the numbers, these people do not really care much about anybody's opinion. They could be very civilized, so you might think that they care, but those are the rulers, sometimes rulers, those are the leaders, and those are the kings of our life. Sometimes they're not kings in their own life, but they definitely want to rule. Whether they are able to rule is a different story, because like I said, sometimes brain does not work optimally and the execution is not available even if the idea is there. And then people who are born on the 2nd, or the summary of the birthday is 2nd, they are diplomats. They only work around the relationships to save those relationships, even though they might not have an optimal relationship. And I'm not talking about family, I'm talking about business, children, friends, relationship in the store. They will try to save relationship at any cost, and any cost will be the cost of my well-being, right? And then people born on the 3rd, their program is to analyze everything. So they're constantly analyzing everything, including how much it will cost me, how much of my resources will be used or abused. And so those are the people who can stop before the action and really pay attention to what's optimal. So people born on the 4th are always looking for everything to be equal for everybody. So what it means is I don't really care what the contribution of this person is. They should have as much as I have. And imagine that person being the leader of the business. They pay the next person just as much as they pay to themselves, and then they end up presenting their own employees, and I've seen it many times. Then the people born on the 5th, or if their summary is 5, always want to scale. They want to make things bigger. They want to expand. And the more they want to expand, the more resources they need for it. And if they do not know how to communicate that and build relationships and analyze, you can imagine what kind of business, whether it's the business of your family or the business of your the business where you make your career, or if you're an employee, it's the same thing. You will bother your employer with how to make things bigger, and it might not be calculated, analyzed, or sequentially appropriate for this particular environment. And then, if you're born on the 6th, all you care about is comfort. I don't want to do things that are not comfortable. And if that kind of person creates an idea of doing something, they will always find some other people to do it. Those people are very lucky because the universe loves them. They are very lovable. They bring love and connection to everybody, but these people can manipulate anybody to do what they need just because this is the program of their mind. They'll do anything to be in comfort. And then people that are born on the 7th or around the 7th, those are the ones like me. They get an idea and they need to realize it now or yesterday, which drives some other people nuts, because my ideas come 1 kilogram per second and they all need to be realized fast. So, of course, if I don't have the discipline of my body and my mind, like, for example, walking and bringing the energy from the earth through my body, through my coccyx, through my spine, all the way up to my head, when the energy clears all the ideas that are not optimal for this moment in time, then I will overload myself and others. But luckily, I've learned that my mind program can be overwhelming and I can get tired before I do anything. So every morning I walk and I raise the energy, which is like a sleeping dragon at the coccyx, to be on top of the things. So I don't give my ideas and my commands to everybody else. I do myself whatever I can do, and of course I delegate as well. And then people who are born on the 8th, or their summary is 8. These people are workers. They want to work. And that's true. Their brain is functioning in a way that it makes them work a lot, but through the work they get satisfaction. They never get tired. Now imagine that person is your spouse or your boss, and you don't have the 8. You're not born on the 8. The planets do not support that kind of workaholic behavior. And when it charges their mind and allow them to be very productive, for you it could do exactly opposite and you feel exhausted. So understanding other people is extremely important. And people who are born on the 9th are the people who understand everybody and therefore can generate ideas for everybody. And they are overprotective. They always bring people to safety. But when things are not done their way, because they have all the numbers, 9 has all the numbers in their mind, they will become the rulers and they will become the warriors and they will go for the kill. And therefore their energy, their mind energy, also needs to be optimal in order for them to bring everybody to safety, to be altruistic, to generate ideas that help everybody, not just themselves. So we are born with the particular brain power, the program, so to speak. And that program is important because we do not live in isolation, we live in a community. And in this community, we have an ability to help each other, to support the metrics of everybody with our own numbers. And I'm just talking about one number, the number of your thinking, the consciousness number. There are 9 numbers, and they all have a place in your metrics. You are born with some, which means you have competency. you are born without some, so you can learn those things and create competencies in your life and light up your matrix like a Christmas tree. The Christmas coming, Hanukkah coming, those are the celebration of the lights, the celebration of the power, the celebration of the enlightenment. In every culture, there are celebrations connected with the fire. And if you think about the fire, it's the sun energy. And the sun energy within our body is the major energy, because the sun gives us 70% of the energy, not the food that we eat, but the sun energy translated through food. The green plants are transforming the sun energy into chlorophyll, and then the animals eat the green energy of the plants, and we eat the animals. I don't, but some people do. And you either get the energy from the sun directly, or you get it from eating the plants, or you get it from eating the animals. But this is the sun energy. So, for example, you can heal many illnesses in your body if you put the crevices of your elbow, inside your elbow, under the sun 15 minutes a day. And I'm not talking about 1 o'clock sun, morning sun or evening sun. Because in this area, inside your elbow, the blood vessels are very close to the skin, and you know it how. When you go for the blood draw, they always go in that area because they can find those vessels, blood vessels. And when you put it under the sun energy cleans and rejuvenates your blood. And then your brain receives the clean blood. And then your program starts working optimally for you. So, when I talk about the program of the mind, it is not something to change. It is not something to do anything with. It's just something to be aware of. Why? Because sometimes this program affects what you get and what you don't get. What's optimal for you to get in this moment and what's not. When we start talking today, I spoke about realization, what's real. And we live in illusion. So our program, the brain program, the mind program, morning, works always. The program always works. That's why it's a program. It's like a computer program. I have neighbors saying hello to me, including the dogs. So when that program works, it can work in the darkness or it can work in the light. And to light up all the lights within your matrix is to work with other people and also work out your brain so you develop all the competencies. So your desires would not be illusionary but real. What is illusionary desires? You go to some seminar and the speaker says, you need to scale. You can have a bigger heart. You can have a bigger money. You can have a bigger, whatever bigger you want to have. And some people who are born on the 5th will absolutely be happy to hear it. They will pick it up and go communicating about it and scaling. And you will see that neighbor and you will wonder why that neighbor is already real estate broker with 100 houses under their supervision. Why that neighbor is director of some sort of the calling center. Why this neighbor has all they ever wanted and I work hard and I don't get any. It's because your program is 8 and their program is 5. And in order for you to scale, might be work hard. But on the motivational seminar, you will hear, don't work hard, work smart. Well, it's good for the one, whoever is born on the 1 will organize their organization, the system smart, and they'll get the result this way. So understanding what is your smart according to your program is extremely important. But the second important thing is to understand that illusions are ruling us just as much as the program. They are interacting together, they're working together. And the illusions comes from our cultures, from our family, from our experience, from our education, because we are all raised and educated in the same way. We are given the same rules. I come from Soviet school, so everything at that time was about pioneering. Pioneering is to be first and to be an example. And the pioneer puts everything above himself. Great, but when you put everyone and everything above yourself, when you do things for others, very often without them even soliciting that, you end up living their life. And what happens, you live their life as your consciousness number, as your date of birth. But they are not your date of birth. For example, your children or your husband or even your parents. When you see them in despair and you give them advice or you tell them that you'll do that for them, that's great, because you feel accomplished, you feel realized, you feel important, and maybe even you are waiting for them to be grateful for your help. But what happens in reality, they're not necessarily happy. They blame you that you didn't do that, what you did in their way, not how they wanted. You've given them not what they wanted, and you are to blame for whatever mishaps happens since that moment. Not only that, you blame yourself. Why did I do it? They are not grateful. They're acting as if I am their enemy. And the truth of the matter is, you are your own enemy. Because the enemy comes and conquers your territory. So when you conquer somebody else's territory, you don't live your life anymore on your territory. It's like you left your kingdom and you went to live where the other king rules. So of course that king is not happy. And of course you're no longer a king or a queen. Now you're a Cinderella, and the moment comes, 12 o'clock or earlier, and your carriage becomes a pumpkin, and you have to walk back home on your own, because nothing anymore belongs to you, because you've given up your life and your support to something that was not even asked for. Why does that happen? Because the people in despair very often do not understand what they want. They do not understand the real thing that they want. For example, everybody wants children, everybody wants, I'm talking about women, men as well. Everybody wants a big family, or let's say a family. And when the children show up, they realize the children are not what they've expected them to be. Because every child has their own thinking number. And therefore, they don't think the way you think. Up to 7 years old, children live in the mother's energy. So if the mother is unhappy, not realized, let's say, is not working in the place where she feels needed, useful, appreciated, not working at work that gives her oomph of life, energy of life, satisfaction, then it comes back to child. Because now, or even if she sits at home with the child, because now the child becomes the scapegoat for her unsatisfaction. Same thing, by the way, happens with the father. If the father is not realized at work, let's say the father is number one and needs to have its own territory, its own responsibility, its own position, and rule that territory in a way, create the structure and strategy in a way that is his way, comes back home unsatisfied. Now he rules the wife. Now he's being aggressive toward the wife. Let's say the number 9 has ideas that are not realized at work, come back home and extremely upset that he is not appreciated, he is not useful, and then he becomes a harsh ruler at home. So, like I said, living your life is about understanding who you are through your experience And then correcting your course, morning, understanding other people as not you, understanding where you end and another person begin, even if it's a 2-year-old, even if it's a 6 months old, where you end and another person begin is the important boundaries, not to protect yourself, but not overstep other people's energy boundary, so they can explore world on their own and gain their own perspective and build their own competencies. Until 33 years old, this consciousness number rules. It makes you do things even if you don't want to. And so understanding your real want and correcting your course to be realized, to be real, to receive real benefit of being alive, which is one benefit, being alive, being in every moment, experiencing every moment for what it is, just the moment of your life, with the question, what opportunities that moment gives me, and what opportunities I can create for other people to expand, so I do not need to live their life. What is my role in every moment? What kind of role am I playing? We are playing many roles: the mothers, the workers, the fathers, the responsibility taker, the warrior, the protector, the money maker, the breadwinner. We have many different roles: the sister, the brother, the child of the parents. And realizing what is the most optimal role for you to play in every situation, with the simple question: is it mine to cause and create? Is it mine to support and develop? Is it mine to strategize and rule? Is it mine to save the relationship? Is it my relationship to save, or I need to let people figure things out? Is it mine to analyze, or this is not even my business, and to be analyzing, and most importantly, giving an advice? I consult young people who are having a crisis in their business or in their family business, or wanting to establish a new business, which could be a family business, when I mean the business of family, the business of your life, or the business where your career is flourishing, or how I can find the role for myself in somebody else's business. So I truly believe personal consulting and business consulting is one and the same, or at least after coaching thousands of people, I've realized that if you are losing energy at work, your family will suffer. If you are losing energy in family life, your business will suffer. And when I say energy, what I mean is electricity. Some people look into energy as an esoteric term. There is nothing esoteric. Every organ isolates, and how it isolates could be measured through the electronics, very advanced electronics, bioresonance technologies, which I have many different machines at home, which I used before, not anymore, because I've graduated from this. I can now understand the person by just listening. And by the way, I recommend you listen how people talk. You will hear what is the prominent desires they express and how they talk. And you will figure out, without even knowing their birth date, what kind of person, what type of person is this person, and what their thinking is about. Because people always express their thinking. Even if they want to hide their thinking, it will come out through their complaint, or through their inspirations, or through their ideas, or through their plans. So this week, maybe, if it's interesting for you, I invite you to walk with me every day, every morning around 8 o'clock. I'll go out and I'll broadcast some ideas for you, just sharing what I know, what I've learned throughout my coaching and consulting people, and just in personal relationships. And then apply it in your life, because knowledge without practice is dead. If you use what I am sharing with you in your life, you start hearing things you haven't heard before. Your mind will open up to new opportunities. Asking a question every day, what is it I can do to make things more interesting for me? What opportunities I can create for others to grow and expand? What did I see today? What is my analysis of the day? So asking those questions according to 9 numbers that I just gave you in this broadcast will help you navigate your life so much better. And you will understand that the program of your mind rules, and it's in conflict sometimes with your body. And we will resolve those conflicts in those free masterclasses and intensives that I'm planning on doing on the channel that I'm gonna share with you in this broadcast. So I'm not sending anybody any invitations. This is the only place where you can sign up and be in this channel. It's a Telegram channel. Once you sign up, you will see in the channel, whenever you want to look into it, you will see what's available. And the programs are available in Russian language right this moment. We are doing it together with my friend Evgenia. So she's running the Russian part of this program. I'm running the English part of this program. So if your children, for example, do not speak your language, or you've immigrated to the country and your children speak English, for example, whatever language you speak, they might not listen to you. And in general, children do not listen to the parents just because biologically it's not supported. Children should learn to be on their own in the nature world. So we're also part of the nature. So if you need your children to hear something that they don't hear from you, send them to this channel, because I'll be doing strategic sessions for everybody who's interested. And especially the program that's coming up is about anxiety and fear. What stops you from completing things? What stops you from beginning of the things? Why are you getting stuck sometimes in relationship or in your business? What are the things that are lingering inside that are not letting you be real and realize yourself? So just sign up. It's free. It's not something that will bother you much, but you will receive a lot of valuable information, content. And if you don't want to sign up, that's fine too. My goal is to keep walking, and you help me do it, because knowing that you are here and you're listening and you are responding keeps me going. Just like maybe for you to walk alone is a little bothersome, but now it's a club. We're all together. So please give me some comment, some little fire, something, so I know that you're alive, that you're not just watching, but you're also reacting, because reaction is the mark of the life. Be alive, be lively, be grateful for this moment of sunshine. Even though hurricanes of your life are happening, we keep walking. We just keep walking, and we just keep walking, and we're connecting and communicating with each other, creating opportunities for each other to help each other to come to success. I am here to bring myself and others to success. And at least today, the day is successful because we started it with walking through life and dancing with our soul. Much love. Have an amazing day. Please connect directly under the video somewhere, so I know that you are alive and well. Much love. Bye.